Well, welcome everybody to another What If video today from exclusively to YouTube, and it's on my TikTok channel. Highlights over there, highlights over in Clapper as well. But today we're going to talk about what if Hulk Hogan never came to WWE. I think we did a video of this a while back, but we can update it a little better. This coming from Dave Meltzer saying that WWE would have died if the WWE, if Hulk Hogan never came to WWE. And we're going to dig into this, see who would have been Hogan's replacement, and would it have been as successful as it was back then with or without Hogan. So without further ado, let's go.
Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
So let's take into consideration the ramifications of this. Let's just say Hogan stayed in AWA, okay? Who would have replaced him for WrestleMania? Who would have taken the title off the Iron Sheik? Well, the Iron Sheik would have been, it was pretty obvious. Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund was the golden boy for Vince McMahon and the WWF at that time. He was a golden boy for the Vince Sr. and Vince Jr. as well. So there was no way they wouldn't have put the title back on him at Madison Square Garden for WrestleMania. But now we're going to talk about the actual tag team match that we had Hogan and T versus Orndorff and Piper. Who would have placed Hogan in that match? I believe, well, we got a handful of people. Let's take, for instance, you got Bruno Sammartino, the real face of the WWF at that time. Okay, still around. You had Jesse the Body Ventura, charismatic, egotistical. He looked great on the ring, looked great on the mic. Big possibility. Then you had superstar Billy Graham, another big guy. So you had at least those three people right there that could have easily been put into that match, that tag team match. And that tag team match would have been in the mid-card because the WWE title, Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund, would have been the main event. You got that match, right? WrestleMania. It wouldn't have been, I don't think it would have been a big success as when we would have with Hogan in that tag team match. And that would be one pay-per-view that would have had the WWE title contested, which never did. That's the only pay-per-view in WWF history that never had the WWE title contested in a match. So, where do we go from this, right? Is it WWE dead yet? No. Did WWE bring in that much money? I don't think it would have brought in as much money as Vince would have thought. Even with all the celebrities and all the glitz, glamour, and everything else in between, I don't think he would have. The WWE wouldn't be dead. But at that time, too, Gorilla Monsoon owned 25% of that company. So let's get with that. Gorilla Monsoon owned 25%, and he did own 25% of that company to the day he died. It was his. He didn't need a contract. Whatever happened, he had 25% of that company. That's pretty damn good for him. Being said, we go to WrestleMania 2. Okay. The King Kong Bundy match. Steel cage. Where do we put the WWF champion? Is it Bob Backlund? Is it Bruno Sammartino? Is it Jesse Ventura? I believe we would have had one really good match. Before WrestleMania, you would have Bob Backlund and Bruno Sammartino. Bob Backlund turns heel because he throws in the towel again. Arnold Skaaland does it for him again. You have Bruno Sammartino going up against King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 2. Steel cage match. That match would have been a lot better without Hogan. The Hogan Bundy match was good, don't even get me wrong. It was like one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. It was. But when you have someone like Bruno Sammartino in there, the actual face of the company, it's a big difference. And ratings and showmanship and sportsmanship, in the whole 9 yards. You would have made more money in WrestleMania 2, and WrestleMania 2 wouldn't have been a big disaster if you had Bruno Sammartino in that match instead of Hulk Hogan. Dave Meltzer also mentioned in his video that the WWE, they weren't how can I say it? They weren't national. The people didn't. The other countries didn't know much about the WWF. European people, like UK, India, like the whole 9 yards, they didn't know nothing about the WWE. And a lot of people I've seen in that comment section was like, yeah, we did know about it. Yeah, it was great international. Now Dave Meltzer gave credit to Bret Hart, saying it was Bret Hart who brought the WWF international. You can argue with that, but it was way before that. Way before that. WrestleMania 3 came along. Okay? And with WrestleMania 3, that's when the company went international. Truly did. Now, let's just say, for instance, that Bruno Sammartino is the guy. Okay? Andre turned heel. Andre turned Bruno Sammartino. Awesome match. Awesome storyline. Great. And I believe that in that match alone, Andre probably would have let Bruno Sammartino beat him, but it wouldn't be with that slam. The slam that we heard all over the world. And I believe because Andre and Bruno Sammartino were both good with each other. Maybe Bruno would have been like, if you just try to let me slam you, and Andre probably would let him. I think he would have. And if he didn't, and Andre won that match, think of the ramifications of Andre Giant becoming the WWF champion at WrestleMania 3 over Bruno Sammartino. Just imagine that. I couldn't. I love Andre. Andre's my goat. He is the goat of wrestling. But to have that match, oh man, it would have been a lot better to have Bruno Sammartino than it would have been to have Hogan. Don't get me wrong, that match with Andre and Hogan, epic match. One of the greatest matches of all time. But to put Bruno Sammartino in instead of Hogan, could you imagine that? The face of the WWF, there he is. Can't beat Andre. Andre's still undefeated. Bruno Sammartino retired, because that's it. That's it for the guy. The guy's done it for many years. He's retired. Who will we put to replace Bruno Sammartino going forward? We go past WrestleMania 3. Who would be the contender for the WWF Championship? If the cards are played right, it's Randy Savage, of course. Randy Savage will be the face of the company, and you needed that kind of guy to be the face of the company. So WrestleMania 4, you would have that tournament, of course, and Randy still winning it, of course, without Hogan. Who would be by Randy Savage's side? You could easily put Roddy Piper in there, sneak him in because he was hot. You could even put Ricky the Dragon Steamboat into that, so reignite that feud, but keep it as a team. Randy Savage and the Dragon, absolutely. There's just not that much many inventors that could have done that. You could even put in, you could even if you wanted to, even if Vince wanted to, he could probably even bring in Ric Flair at that time. Ric Flair was hot, and if Ric Flair is in WCW or NWA, and they don't have a union, and WWF has a union, I think Ric Flair would have went over to the WWF, have a union job, and to have Randy Savage and Ric Flair as a team. That would be even better, because then you have DiBiase and Andre still. And at WrestleMania, you would actually have Randy Savage as the WWF champion. You would still have that tournament, and you would have Randy Savage as that guy. The outcome would still be Randy Savage, and then Randy Savage would be the guy. Then you go to WrestleMania 5. Randy Savage, Ric Flair. The cards are there. It's not. It's there. You can actually make. But who would be the heel and who would be the face? That's a problem. Like I would put Randy Savage as a face of the company, because that's what he is. but then I would have Ric Flair defeat him at WrestleMania 5. Crowd just go crazy on that, right? Ric Flair and Randy Savage for WrestleMania 6. That would be even better. It gradually goes in that direction. Having a 2-year feud and having Randy Savage defeat Ric Flair at WrestleMania 6. Now you got the Warrior coming in. Warrior and Savage, WrestleMania 7. It all lines up. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is this: even without Hulk Hogan around, the WWE would be good. Not as superstardom, but it would be there. It'd be noticeable. When you have a guy like, let's say, Ric Flair coming to the WWF, and you got like Ted DiBiase in the WWF, Andre, WWF, Bruno Sammartino still wrestling, you can bring him back on numerous occasions for that. So would WWE be dead? I don't think so. It'd be a hard time for them to bring in people, to bring in fans. But when you have somebody like Randy Savage at WrestleMania 4 onward, that's when the WWF would just skyrocket. Because like Savage was flamboyant. The way he dressed, the way he acted, the way he performed in the ring, the way he did his promos, untouchable. And to have him and Ric Flair as a tag team for a bit, that would maybe got better. And to have Ric Flair defeat Randy Savage at WrestleMania 6, or Savage defeat Randy Savage at WrestleMania 6, either one, because they have their feud at WrestleMania 8. You remember that match in Houston, Texas? It's like a 4-year feud. It was the biggest feud of them all. And to have Savage defeat Ric Flair at WrestleMania 8, it's there for you. With all this stuff here, guys, would WWE be dead? No. They would struggle, but they would make it without Hulk Hogan. You put so many people in those scenarios. That tag team match at WrestleMania 1, to have Bob Backlund defeat Iron Sheik at WrestleMania 1, become WWF champion again. Bruno Sammartino coming back. You know, you got Jesse Ventura, you got Superstar Billy Graham to put in there. Any one of those guys from WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania 4 or 5 would have been great to have. I use Savage for WrestleMania 4 to 5 because that's how it played out for him, and that's what made him to make a megastar. From 1, 2, and 3, Bruno Sammartino, I would use it because Bruno Sammartino was the face of that company. So was Superstar, so was Jesse Ventura, and so was Bob Backlund. 4 main eventers. You put your one guy in there, Andre retires him, you move on. Would I put the WWF title on Superstar Billy Graham at WrestleMania 4? That's a big possibility. He was still huge. Still huge. Jesse Ventura? Still huge. The only setback that we would actually have, the only thing that we actually would see, is the fact that there would be a union. And there'd be not so many wrestlers with WWF. I can tell you that much. Vince McMahon never pay anybody to sit in the sidelines, especially when you have a roster of 120 people. Would never do it. You have a roster of like 40 to 50 tops. And that's how you'd make his money. Watch here today, hit that subscribe button. I got my podcast with Stacy every Saturdays. Now I'm moving to Saturdays, so I'll be posting that up here during the week. I got another podcast happening with the Promo Club, and we're going to be doing something on Sunday nights moving forward, so that'd be kind of cool too to watch out for that stuff. And like you said, if you guys like, hit that comment button, do anything you want to do to this page. We're going to have some fun on here, and we're going to do a lot more what ifs around here. Till then, we'll catch you guys later, and you have yourself a great week. SID-THE-KID Wrestling out.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best